Many diseases, especially cancer, are caused by a lack of psychic energy. Cancer cells are found in every body, but they cause harm only when they are not attacked strongly enough. Cancer can be treated by psychic energy, since lack of psychic energy in the blood generates the disease. Indeed, the bacilli of cancer exist. They can be detected and killed primarily by the fire of the heart. The absence of psychic energy contributes to their growth. Psychic energy penetrates all tissues, establishing equilibrium throughout the organism. Therefore, all growths, up to cancer, can be attributed to the ebbing of psychic energy. Spiritual equilibrium can help to eradicate many illnesses. The more prolonged the ebbing of psychic energy, the more malignant will be the diseases. The strengthening of psychic energy is the true protection against illness. The best protection not only against sicknesses, but also against hostile attacks will always lie in the conscious application of psychic energy. This training of psychic energy will be the true prophylaxis of humanity. Why do people with a great mission, such as politicians, artists, or business leaders, so rarely get sick? Because in order to reach and to maintain their position, they have to have a large store of psychic energy, which protects them at the same time against disease. Many illnesses can be prevented by means of psychic energy. It may be said that some organisms are predisposed or not disposed toward certain sicknesses. But what this protection or weakness consists of, no one can say positively. Studies of psychic energy would provide the best answers. Those who walk through life full of basic confidence and joy and enthusiastically carry out their task are to a large extent immune to illness. Psychic energy preserves against infection. People call a certain immunity an influx of faith, but not without reason is a state of ecstasy called the radiance of the fiery world. And such a radiance protects man against infection. It purifies the secretions. It is as a shield. Therefore, a state of joy and exaltation is the best prophylaxis. Whoever knows rapture of spirit has already been cleansed against many danger. Even ordinary physicians know how changeable is the condition of the blood and secretions, but few connect this with the spiritual condition. With the help of psychic energy, we will be able one day to completely eradicate all diseases. In the future, an adequate prophylaxis, together with application of psychic energy, will make diseases entirely non-existent. Each of you has already observed that there is a force in man which even influences machines. We used to perform experiments in textile factories, where there were hundreds of looms and up to 100 more or less experienced workmen. The looms, irrespective of the experience of the operator, demanded their own period of rest beyond the apportioned period. By submitting the operators to a psychic test, it was clearly perceived that in the hands of those possessing psychic energy, the looms were less in need of rest, as if a living current were communicated to the loom and prolonged its vitality. In the hands of some people, objects quickly wear out or are easily damaged, while others exercise a preserving, healing, protective influence. This is the psychic energy. It can also be noticed that around certain people things wear out, while others seem somehow to preserve them. Pay attention to the preservers. They will be close to fire. I have already spoken about the effect of the psychic energy of workers upon the quality of their production. It is said, the shirt burns on the body of a traitor. One can notice how things are ruined in the proximity of a sick psychic energy. Devices work differently well and with quite different accuracy, depending upon what kind of person uses them. I am astonished at how much people rely on lifeless instruments while forgetting about the influence of their own living energy. It is worth observing how readings on the most precise instruments fluctuate when they are placed in the hands of different people. Even the most sensitive chronometers work differently in different hands. Naturally, this sort of simple evidence arouses the derision of dwarfs. Could they really have such a low opinion of themselves that they do not admit the existence of their own emanations? The time will come when people will recognize that the functioning of machines is dependent upon the psychic energy of the person operating them. This should not be regarded as magic or something supernatural. People should know that they transmit some of their psychic energy to every object they touch. Straight knowledge helps even machines to do their best work. Generally, psychic energy influences plants, animals, or human beings, either in an uplifting or in a destructive way. There are helpers who multiply our energy, and vampires who actually suck it out of us. A convincing example of the manifold effects of human emanations upon their surroundings is to be found in the effect of a human being upon animals and plants. Give someone an animal or plant, and by noting the change in its condition, you can identify the man who is a destroyer of life energy. Like a vampire, the rider can exhaust his horse, or the hunter his dog, or the gardener his plants. Seek the cause of this in the emanations of the man. A dead pearl is revivified when worn by certain people. Only the presence of the primary energy can explain this natural process. One should observe similar manifestations in all the domains of life. It can be seen how long different objects last when used by certain people. It can be observed how animately the primary energy acts by its own strength when warmed by the fire of the heart. It can be seen how salutary certain people are, who do not even suspect the vivid presence of the primary energy in themselves. But if, in addition, they were to become conscious of their force, then their beneficent activity would be broadly increased. The emanations of a person, the aura, is built up by his psychic energy. This radiation is the stronger, the more valuable the aspirations are into which this energy flows. Among fiery manifestations, radiation from the fingertips during work is very instructive. Around the writing hand, waves of light can be seen. Moreover, they change according to the content of the writing. Thus, one can observe a highly important manifestation, the visible participation of fire, and also the variation of Agni energy in accordance with the inner quality of the work. A high, radiant aura is the product of a strong psychic energy. There is a stage in the development of psychic energy called luminous, when the essence of a being begins to emit light. Our personal force of attraction is based on our psychic energy, which works like a magnet. Psychic energy is also called a magnet, and in such a definition there is much truth. Of course, the law of attraction and repulsion reacts especially upon psychic energy. When the fire of the heart shines in the darkness like a torch, it attracts quite naturally various creatures from afar. If you feel that you do not attract the right beings, you should start working on improving your psychic energy. Accumulation of psychic energy should be the most important goal. Many insects, whether white or black, are drawn to the flame, for fire is psychic energy. One must understand that everything is attracted by psychic energy.